Hi, it's Susan Lethbridge with Shaw TV, and we're here at Johnny's Social Club talking to Mike Spencer. And Mike is one of the managers the manager at NorVa Centre.
Yes. Hi. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And the NorVa Centre is always a big part of Culture Days, and you guys always have some amazing artists come in. So tell me about the square foot thing.
Well, the Square Foot Fundraiser is a great fundraiser for us. It's a lot of fun, and we like to encourage anybody, whether you're an artist or just a beginner, 95 right down to 5, anybody is welcome to take part in the Square Foot Fundraiser, and we really appreciate the huge diversity of talent and work that we have donated to the NorVa Centre that we then exhibit and auction off to the public.
And how many people get involved and actually jump in there? Because, for someone like myself who's not artistic visually, that sounds like a scary thing, but it sounds like you get quite a few people.
We do. This is the third annual, and we've had just under 100 different paintings.
Wow.
Both years that we've done it before. So we're trying to break that 100 painting barrier this time, and it's gonna be a great event, something for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I also know, Mike, that you're involved with Culture's Cool for Kids, and it's really great. That's our 3 to 5-year-old program that's on Friday morning at 9, from 9 till noon. And Mike comes from the NorVa Centre, and they always set up some very cool art thing. And then you've got a number of other things happening.
Yes. So I've got my list here. We have on exhibit the high school photography exhibition called Hung Out to Dry. That will be on view during Culture Days and the week leading up. We also have opening at Culture Days, our visiting artist Diana Thornycroft will be having her exhibition, and that will start at Culture Days and run throughout October. So if you can't make it at Culture Days, do take the time to come see that, because that's a really exciting project for us. She's a world-renowned artist from Winnipeg, and she has some really incredible work that we're lucky enough to have. The other part about that project that's really exciting for us is after Culture Days, Diana will be starting what will be a 6 to 8 month mentorship program. So there's applications for those available, and people can still apply to the mentorship program to work with Diana and learn from her directly.
That sounds wonderful right there.
Yes.
How often do people get that kind of opportunity?
Well, not often enough. We've been trying to do it. This is the first time that we've really done it on our own, the NorVa Centre. We've done it with help through the Manitoba Arts Council and another grant through the Royal Bank a couple times, and that was just at the beginning of NorVa. So now we're taking that leap ourselves and moving forward with that project. So that's a really exciting one. As well at Culture Days, Diana will be doing an artist talk. That'll be on the Saturday of Culture Days, the 1st, and that will happen at 3:30 at NorVa Centre.
And then I think that night, it's one of my favorite things about Wild Rice Night that happens at the community hall. I think the doors are open at 7 o'clock and the entertainment starts at 7:30. And you guys do a live art piece.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting little project that got started a few years ago as well, with another artist and mentor to the NorVa Centre and the artists there, Dean Bosch,
right,
from Battleford. And so we've done that for the last couple of years as well. We have a group of artists who will collaborate on a painting while the show is happening, so that there's almost 2 shows going on simultaneously. It's a bit of a surprise, so we don't want to tell you too much about what the painting will be this year, but it's going to be a very cool one.
Well, it is, if you've never witnessed it, it's really interesting. And not only, like Mike says, there's entertainment on stage, but there's another side show, and for someone like myself, again, who's a non-visual artist, I just found the whole thing amazing. And you see these artists making these marks on the painting that you think, well, what did he do that for? That looks terrible. well, he's just wrecked it right there. And then you see the next mark that he makes, and it's like, oh, that's the shore. That's, and it just, for someone like myself who's never done anything like that, I find the whole thing fascinating.
Yeah, it's a really exciting project, and you always get something really unique because not often do you have 8 or 10 different artists working together on a project like that on a single painting. So there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah, and it's like a jam where it's very spontaneous about where you jump in, right?
Very much so, yes. Yeah. Well, we use sort of the same rules, do no harm.
Right. No, that sounds great. And I know also, Mike, that you're involved on now, which is it where they're showing off some of the cool new pottery that you're doing?
Oh, yes. That will be happening also on Saturday, October 1st. That'll be at the new market, the Creekside Market that they're going to have this year. I'll be doing a Raku Pottery demonstration, so that's a really exciting thing.
That Raku Pottery, I had never seen it before, Mike, and I'm totally impressed with it. If you've never seen it, it's very kind of edgy, and I felt like your pieces almost had like a heavy metal feel to them. Something that my boys would really like, just a really unique art form.
I could see that, yeah. There's a lot of different ways of making pottery. What's fun with Raku Pottery is it's spontaneous. You never are really sure where you might end up with it right till it's completely finished. And that is the most exciting part, the final firing, because we take what's different about Raku Pottery is we take the pottery out of the kiln while it's still hot and put it in a combustible fuel source and seal it in there. And the fire will create all kinds of cool effects that you can't really get in a traditional kiln. So it's a very exciting kind of thing to see. It's not your standard pottery. So October 2nd, the Sunday, we have our favorite Culture Days event, which has been a huge success in the past, called Pictures at an Exhibition, which features our very own Mark Colt. Yes. And we'll bring they'll arrange to have somebody else there, a different musician that will improvise as well. These are musical improvisations or responses to visual artworks that are selected by the audience. And if you've never been to NorVa at Culture Days, there's a lot to choose from, with the Square Foot exhibition and the Diana Thornycroft exhibition and the high school exhibition. There's something for everybody.
There's something for everybody and something for every age group. And if I could just say something about that Pictures and Exhibition, I don't know if I've seen anything more artistic. It truly is a really almost magical experience where Mark musically translates some of the art pieces that people have picked out. Now, I know he then talks about why he chose the music that he chose and the particular tempo, and it's all very, very interesting and, again, very jam-like.
Very much so. One of the things that I find most interesting is when we're lucky enough to have one of the artists, visual artists in-house, yes. Who can hear that the musical response that Mark and the guest come up with, and then speak to that themselves. Yes. I find that very interesting, and so we hope that might happen again this year. And I believe that the guest musician for that is Coco Lavalcorn.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, so that will be very exciting if you haven't seen her.
Yeah.
There will be an opportunity to check that out as well on the Monday following Culture Days.
Oh.
Because there's just so much going on at Culture Days, we had to have an extra day.
I think we've got some stuff going on the Thursday, too. No, we are culture crazy here in Flin Flon. And thank you so much, Mike Spencer from NorVa Centre. If you've never been to NorVa Centre, what was the address, Mike?
It's 177 Green Street. It's where Johnny's Confectionery used to be, on the left.
Yes. And really, if you've never been, go, you can just walk around and check out all the art. There's so many amazing artists that work out of there. Really, how many artists are working out of there right now, Mike?
It fluctuates with the time of year and who is in town, but we've got anywhere from 18 to 25 member artists who have studio space there. and whose work you can see. We have also a number of other local artists who don't have studio space at the NorVa Center but are affiliated in one way or another, and who also have work on display there.
Yeah. Well, NorVa Centre has way too many things going on for us to talk about everything, but really check them out during Culture Days. And thank you, Mike Spencer. I'm Susan Lethbridge here with Shaw TV, and we'll talk to you next time.